Okay, hello again. This is the second time around because for some reason it did not record the first time around. Don't know why, it was timing it. Hopefully, this works. Thank you for showing up to Recycled Cottage and Garden. I appreciate it. I wanted to share something today about how not to can meat. Okay. I have a YouTube channel that I really enjoy watching. It's called Country Life Vlog. It's about older family, uh, mother, father, and sometimes the son, apparently sometimes the grandmother. Um, and they live in Azerbaijan, which is south of Russia and west of Turkey. So there's kind of um, a mix of people that live there. Okay. Um, these videos are done from their country home. I think they also have a home in town, but I'm not positive. But since they have animals, they have to be out there every day. They have chickens and ducks, a couple of rabbits, a couple of dogs, some cats, um, and a few head of cattle. Okay. Um, the son is usually the one who does the filming and the editing, from what I understand. These videos are very relaxing because it's just the sights and sounds of country life the way it used to be here maybe 100 years ago in 1920s. They do things at this particular place, and like I said, I don't think this is their in-town home. I don't think it's their only home. Um, the house itself is very small. It doesn't appear that it would be big enough to house two or three people, unless they're all just living in one big room. I don't get that. But then I'm an American. What do I know? Excuse my hair. My bangs are growing out. I've been doing a little bit of work here in the apartment this morning, and everything's just kind of heather and yawn on my head. Um. Anyway, I wanted to share this video. There'll be a link in the description box below. They are, well, the lady does the cooking. And, okay, let me give this disclaimer. If you do not want to see an animal or a part of an animal um, that is being butchered, you may want to skip through uh, the first third of the video, at least the first third. Um, these people, normally she's just cooking meat like you. It looks like you bought it at the grocery store. It may have been. It may not be. Um, today the video is about um, making something called tushanka, whatever that means in Azerbaijani language. I don't know. Um, but it's steers' heads or bulls' heads is what their video is called. Um, so they have three bulls' heads, just the heads. I have a feeling they've probably already processed the rest of the meat, to last them the winter and so forth. Um, and so what you would see is three bulls' heads, and they are, in the very beginning part of it, they're stripping the hide off of it. That's probably the grossest looking part of it to me. But an animal being butchered for meat doesn't really bother me. Some people it will. So if that kind of thing bothers you, skip to like the middle of the video or so and just watch the cooking part. Okay? Um, Everything they do is very, very clean. She's got a scrub brush out there scrubbing what's going to go in the pot, and her son's helping her. And they're pretty much, they some of it, they strip some of the meat off ahead of time, and then they'll put everything in a big pot to boil it with some salt, pepper, and bay leaves. That's all she's using in this. Um, the reason I wanted to show the video is to show you how not to can. The videos they make are not usually this graphic, and they're very, very wonderful. They're very quiet. You don't really hear any talking. It's just the sights and sounds of life on the farm, or out in the country, and it's a very small farm. Um, but the way she cans her meat, how she does the meat is fine. It's the canning part that is not safe, at least not in this country. We have better ways to do this. With meat, it's low acid. You want a pressure can. She's not. She's also not using canning jars. Okay? She's using glass jelly jars with the original lids. Sometimes you can get a seal back on those again, but it's not safe because you don't know for sure. They cook over open fires. She's canning on a wood stove, wood burning stove in the house. And when she takes the jars out of the canner, or it's basically a big pot with a lid, she's just water bathing them basically. When she takes them out, she makes sure that the lids are on tight, and she turns them upside down and sets them on the table to cool. Not safe. Not safe at all. Unless she's then putting them in a freezer, which I doubt since they're jelly jars. Um, I don't, you know, the way they do things there is totally different than the way we do things here. I do not recommend this. I just want you to see how people used to do things when they had no choice. Um, I remember growing up canning green beans. Just green beans in the jar with water, okay? Salt and a little salt in there with it. And mom would put them in a water bath canner for hours, like half the day. They always sealed. Nobody ever got sick off of them. But it's not safe because they're low acid. I think I've mentioned this before, but just in case. Um, I think it's fascinating the way this family does things. It's just like a glimpse into the past. Very hardworking people. You can look at this lady and look at her hands and know she works hard. When you see her with the axe chopping off the horns off the steer's head, yeah, she's got some strength. And like I said, they cook over open fires outside or over a wood burning stove inside. It's all done with wood. Now, many of her videos, the videos that they have, are a lot of her cooking. I don't think I've seen one yet that didn't have her cooking something. And generally, it's just fresh food that they're fixing to eat that day. She did do something with tangerines. They kept calling it a jam. But it was very odd the way they did it. I've never seen anything like that before. But it wasn't canning it. They were just, I'm not sure. Anyway, um, they do process a lot of wild foods that grow on their property, fruit and such, and they use a lot of nuts. Um, it's a very simple, seems to be a very simple diet. Although they cook meals from basically around the world. They've made a pizza kind of thing. They've made like tacos. So there's a lot of worldly influence when it comes to food. But apparently, this is just something that they normally do after they have processed beef. And what to do with the heads? Well, don't want to waste it. I totally agree with that. Don't waste it. Um, and so, one of the biggest portions of the meat is the tongue, because, you know, a cow's tongue is pretty good sized. From what I'm told, it's very tender and very tasty. I've never eaten any. Um, you rarely see them in a grocery store. At least I don't. Anyway, I'm going to leave a link below. Take a look at it. If you're squeamish about processing meats, which I didn't think this one was really bad. There's not like blood dripping everywhere. There's just not, okay? And they're very, very clean. They're always rinsing things and washing things. And she's got a scrub brush out there at one point to, make sure everything's good and clean. And it's just really interesting to see how this was done, like I said, maybe 100 years ago. So thanks for watching. Check this one out. If you're not into this, go to their channel, but check out some of their other videos. Most of them she's just cooking. This is the first one I've seen in maybe 6 months that's where they're actually processing raw stuff off the bone. Um, so this is how people used to live. They didn't have a choice. Today we can go to the grocery store. Of course, these days you can't always afford the beef. So maybe they've got the right way to do it. Excuse me. The right way to do it. So anyway, thanks for stopping in. Check them out if you feel like it. Be warned, it is not the proper way to can. Be warned that you will be seeing raw animal being processed. If that bothers you, please don't watch it. Don't give me any grief in the comments about it. This is not my country. This is another country on the other side of the world. They are south of Russia and east of Turkey. It's a whole different kind of lifestyle. So, y'all have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you soon.